How's it going, everybody? We're back for another episode of the podcast. Today it's just me and Nick. Ali had a work thing, so he's gonna catch up with us next time. We're gonna try to get the whole crew together again pretty regularly, if we can. But yeah, today we're gonna get into a couple different things, mostly Prem stuff right now, just because our La Liga correspondent is currently unavailable. Um, but lots going on this weekend in the Premier League. Got some big games coming up this weekend. FA Cup final is Saturday, I
hmm
think.
I think so.
Um, almost said United. City and Chelsea. Big game for Arsenal on Monday. I'm not sure if who you've got this weekend, but we'll get into all of it. So yeah, I guess do you want to start with Arsenal and there's a lot to talk about in that game.
Yeah, I mean, good
A
win
lot of
over West Ham. It was probably super nervy for both sides having so much to play for. Um, I didn't catch a whole lot of it, so I'm not really sure. From the stat line, was Arsenal just in possession primarily the whole game while they sat back?
Kinda, yeah. I mean, we started the game pretty well. I mean, I kind of had one eye on it because I was at my brother's game, so I was, kind of back and forth watching the game and watching his game. So, but yeah, I saw, the good vast majority of it, and we started off well. Calafiori has a really good chance in the box within
hmm
10 minutes. That's like, it's hard to say that he should be putting it away because he's a defender, you know.
hmm
And it was on his weaker right foot as well. I mean, I did maybe I cursed him a little bit because I think I said on the last one that he's a actually a really good finisher. Um, but yeah, he had a good chance early on. We hit the post a couple times. Started off well, yeah, and there's the injury to Ben White pretty early on, so
Oh, he was taken off because I saw who got moved there. Was it a midfielder?
yeah, so he put Declan at right back, and then he brought on
Okay,
Zubamendi,
little
which
Sly movement.
yeah, I mean, I kind of got it just because like it seemed like we were starting well, so it was like, maybe just get another midfielder on and Declan can kind of like, you
Invert.
know, yeah, invert like, kind of maybe even bomb up the sides and like play with Saka a little bit and combine. It didn't work out great and I just think like you have Mascara there like, yeah, he doesn't really give us much on the ball, but I think you lose more taking Rice out of the midfield than you do, you know, you know what I mean? Like
hmm
putting Mosquera he's played at right back quite a lot this season for us in his first season. He's really young, but he's taking it on well and he's pretty good on the ball. So I don't know, it was weird, but so yeah, it didn't really work and then actually Arteta sort of fixes his mistake and he takes Zubamendi back off. Um, which you don't see a lot from anybody, let alone
He's
Arteta.
he's
But
been favoring Skelly over um Zubamendi recently. Is
yeah,
he
I mean,
just saving him, or is it like actual just
I
like
think
trying to
it's
sort some stuff out in the squad?
I think it's both. I think he was I think he was run pretty ragged to a point, in the last couple of weeks, in the last month or so. Um, he has played. I mean, he's played
Every
every
game.
game. He's played
Yeah.
every game, and he started almost every game. Like he's been a huge piece in what we've done this year, and I he's already at like 50 games. So is
hmm
Gyökeres, these guys are getting up there in their first season already, and like Mascara's come on a lot, and Capier's played a lot. So yeah, I think he was just kind of being run into the ground. But a combination with that is Lewis Skelly. Not only was he fresh, but he gives us kind of a different dimension that Zubamendi doesn't really on the ball.
hmm
Um, so yeah, he Arteta then, he fixes that mistake and brings on Odegaard, brings on Havertz. I think Havertz was first, if maybe at the same time, but he brings on Havertz and Odegaard. He takes off Saka as well. So he took off Eze, Zubimendi, and Saka for
Hmm.
Havertz, Odegaard, and Nani, which, taking off Eze and Saka on a must-win game when you need a goal is like bold, bold, man. It's
Hmm.
bold. But yeah, Odegaard came on and definitely made the difference, getting the assist, but also just he had a couple, good, incisive, like, risky passes that came off, and he was looking sort of back to what we know him as,
Hmm.
know him to be, really incisive passer, and um, but
Do you
we
want to
didn't
talk
have,
about the foul on Raya,
yeah, well, I
which was
I feel
definitely
like
a foul,
I kind
but
of, yeah, I kind of feel like we should go in order though, because this I want to talk about Raya's performance.
oh, that save he made from Fernandez's breakaway, that was crazy.
Yeah, and honestly, the more I watch it, the more I feel like it's actually a great save.
Hmm.
Like, watching it live, I was like, wow, he
No, it's
just,
a save that could have won you the Prem, honestly.
yeah,
It's
but
that
it's
kind of
not,
moment.
I don't think it's really as simple as like he just hit it right at Raya. Like he kind of did, but Raya's reaction, if you watch that clip back, like really watch Raya in the build up to the play, he's not making himself big too early. Like
Hmm.
it's a actually a really reactive save.
Hmm.
Like he after was it Fernandez hits the ball, like he sticks his leg out after he hits the ball, not before. You know what I mean? A lot
Hmm.
of times when a keeper comes out, he makes himself big and kind of just like dives in, right? Or like slides in, but
Hmm.
he's like compact, and then as soon as he hits it, then he snaps
Then
his
he
leg out.
expands, right?
Yeah, it
So it's
was
very like reactive, reflexive.
yeah, that's why in my
Yeah.
mind I'm like I mean, it
You
wasn't
can
like
chalk it down a little bit to the fact that Mateus Fernandez is 20 years old. Like he's
he
not
should
probably the most experienced finisher
yeah,
yet.
yeah, but I mean he's a Premier League player. He should probably score that
Yeah.
regardless,
Oh yeah, a
you know.
breakaway, you would want that.
Yeah, so he'll feel like, he missed a big chance, which he did, but like I just think
Yeah.
I think he gambled a little bit, and I think Raya read him, because he would have expected him to go to the back post, open his body and curl it around him. Um, but yeah, I think he maybe tried to give him the eyes or something, and he just read
Doesn't
him.
doesn't change how I feel about Mateus Fernandez. I still want him this summer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. He's
Yeah.
my
Okay.
Ugarte replacement. My number one pick for that.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
no,
that's
he's
West
a
Ham
good
get
player.
relegated though. We'll see.
Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, it was yeah, that was it happened so fast that I kind of didn't have time in the moment to actually feel how big that save was, because it happened, he saves it and then like we're just, we're getting on with it basically. I think it goes out briefly, but we're rushing for the goal kick. My mind's on, okay, like, great, but like we need a goal,
Hmm.
more so than like, obviously I would have been crashing out if he finished it, but
Oh, I think the
regard
world was on their fucking
yeah.
on their feet.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Everyone's got
know.
their red anger goggles on watching this game.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. But so yeah, I think that's it. And we can maybe get more into Raya later because I do want to have a player of the year conversation. So we could bring Raya and Bruno into that later.
You think
But
Raya for player of the year?
dude, yeah.
That's not a bad shout. It's
Yeah,
just
dude.
like how often is it a goalie?
No, I know, but I think he's
I feel
been
like they
that
get their
good.
separate award. Like he'll already get the Golden Glove. I don't
Yeah,
think they'll
but
ever be considered for player of the year. That is
yeah,
their
but
player of the year, in my opinion.
yeah, I guess, but really think he's been that influential for us. I really
Hmm.
do because I can think
I
of
mean,
like
I understand the argument. Like I would probably I'd be close to accepting that. I just think that in terms of the greed that is like the business side of the Premier League, they're not going to pick a goalie as their player of the year.
well, maybe not, but like just on merit. Because if
on
you
merit.
know,
I mean, how many Heisman winners aren't quarterbacks? You can count them on
well,
probably
yeah,
two
but
hands.
but you could also say like if you think about it in terms of goals purely, right? Because GA is like a big part of that kind of, Ballon
Mhm.
d'Or, whatever award, like GA is a big factor. And if you think about it in reverse, like GA saved, let's say, or goal, it's like he's got 18 or 19 clean sheets in the Premier League right now,
Mhm.
which first of all is ridiculous,
That's awesome.
but it's that the clean sheets are, it's like, it's part of it's him, but part of it's also,
Contributing
um,
it to your back line.
yeah, because you know what, I went and I watched Arsenal on YouTube posted a video, um, and it was like Raya's 19 clean, our 19 clean sheets and Raya's saves and all of them, right?
Hmm.
And if you remember that period we had like in the fall and the winter, we went like 8 games without conceding a goal.
Hmm.
I'm watching this and it's showing a couple big saves from every game. And there's a stretch of like 6 games where they have no saves. There's no clips of him saving anything
Hmm.
in these clean sheets. It's just like him claiming crosses and him like, the ball like
Which he's
squirms out.
annoyingly good at, by the way. It's
Yeah,
such a
he's dude.
necessity in the Prem.
Yeah. But
I
but I'm
remember
just
that first game against Arsenal. I felt like half of our balls put into the box were just like snatched, and I'm like just
yeah.
waiting for something to fall, like and go my way.
Yeah, dude. And that's like, he but yeah, the point being that like there were games where we weren't even conceding shots, let alone goals. So how much of it is, you know, purely down to him? But
Mhm.
I mean, just
Which I
back
would
on
give
the
him. I would give him like the benefit of the doubt, where like 60 between 65% and 80% of it is probably him.
yeah,
And
well, and my other thing for that argument is personally, if we win the league, if we're the best team in the league and we have, if the internal player of the year, the Arsenal player of the year, if it's a race between, Gabriel, Saliba, Rice, and Raya, why would he not then be sort of considered in the you know, same way for the league player of the year? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I don't know. That's just kind of how I feel about it. But because I feel like, Saliba, Gabriel, Rice
Mhm.
have shouts for the league player of the year.
No, I agree. I just think they don't consider it. Like it's not something that's going through the polls' heads.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I just don't think it's that like I don't think it's too distant from giving it to a center back, you know?
It is though.
I mean, it is in the sense of like Gabriel because he scores a shit ton of headers,
Like
off corners, but like,
you can count how many center backs have it on one hand.
yeah, but I don't know. But that's what I'm saying though. In a team that is so defensive, that has such a great record, that has conceded 6 goals in the Champions League this year, like,
Mm.
doesn't it make sense that if you won the league because of your defense, that your defenders would win the player of the year?
Hmm.
That
I I mean it's a fair argument because like you don't look at your squad and think your wingers had a fantastic season. I still think Victor has a decent season, but
Well, yeah, but he's
in
not
terms
the
of
reason.
numbers, but
But he's not the reason we're gonna win. We're gonna win the
you're
league.
gonna win because of depth.
We're
That's
gonna
the
win the
number one
league.
thing I admire about Arsenal right now is I think you have yes, you have quality, and yes, you have definitely a string of world-class players in your goalkeeper, your back line, and in your midfield. Um, but in my head, it just boils down to like when you do have to make these rotational moves, it's like you're not really dropping off a whole lot in terms of quality.
Yeah, but we never rotate Gabriel and Saliba unless they're injured or Raya.
Mhm.
So that's another counter
Which would be the
argument.
case
Yeah,
when your
but
center backs are that good.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying though, is like they're
Whereas at United, both of my starting center backs have missed. I think De Ligt hasn't played since the first half of the season, and Leach has been either suspended or injured for probably just as many games.
yeah.
It's frustrating.
Well, I guess do you want to bring it back to the decision just to round out the game itself?
Oh, you
Because
talking about the foul on Raya? I mean, I think it's a
yeah,
clear-cut foul. I know, understand why everyone's upset, and it boils down to the inconsistency of reffing, and it's something we all know is a part of the game. And I'm sure this kind of foul has taken place at least, 5 times throughout the season where it wasn't called.
yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's always going to boil down to the what the ref wants or what VAR dictates. And whether there's some hidden agenda behind that or not, I doubt it, but there could be.
Well, yeah,
But you just got to take the punches, because there's nothing we can do about it at the end of the day.
I just think it's really ironic that we people are mad at Arsenal for this,
Yeah,
and
it's not on Arsenal. It's on the ref with
well,
the ref's decision.
yeah, and it's not, but it's not like if you want to talk about this season, I can understand, the like, oh, it's we're benefiting from something that we do,
I mean, you
right?
benefited from something that shouldn't happen. The problem is that probably 6 other teams didn't benefit from when that should have been called for them.
Yes, but in the same way, and it's not just an Arsenal thing, but it happens to every team. I realize that, but you remember yours, right? And you think
Yeah.
the ones that happen to you are the worst ones ever because but I can name a dozen instances in the last 2, 3 years that have also cost us titles.
Mhm.
I don't know if you remember,
And people are especially going to be loud about these kind of things because you're about to win a title or on the way.
yeah, but we
Two
don't,
two more wins and it's yours. I mean,
yeah,
that's exciting.
I think one more. I don't have a lot of confidence in City against Bournemouth.
Yeah, Bournemouth's a good side.
think
And
they
I do
might do
want
it
to talk
for
about
us.
their manager too.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, as far as the decision, yeah, I agree. It's a clear foul. I think it's actually worse than a lot of the clips I've seen of us, earlier in the season with these some of these instances.
I
Like,
don't know. I mean, I looked at it and like it's clearly you're grabbing the guy who's tugging on him, but I feel like he was like tugging him towards the direction where Raya was trying to go. So like I don't think it really impacted the play all that much, but it definitely was like interference, like
well, I don't.
all worthy interference.
Are you talking about like the grab of the shirt?
Yeah, that's more of what I saw, but is there more to it? There's like a
Dude,
push or something.
his arm, I can't remember what his name is, but the guy's arm is, Ryder's got his arms up trying to claim it. His arm is through under his neck and through the
Yeah,
muzzle.
I think that's what they ended up calling it on. Not even the
Yeah,
shirt pull.
yeah, but that's the thing is there's two guys pulling on him. He's got
Right.
his hand literally like blocking his arms going up. It's going through
Right.
his neck. And it's a clear foul, and it's worse than the only one that I've seen that's comparable was actually us against Villa, where Gabriel is like, he's right up, challenging against Emi Martinez, and his elbow's kind of like up in his face.
Hmm.
But even that, it's not as bad. But that's not the point. It's a foul. I think what has really been shown, honestly, is people's bias and just like pure hatred for us, you know,
Yeah.
which it's just so
That
blatant at this
definitely
point.
amplifies people's
I don't
perception
think,
of it. But
yeah, like, everybody kind of shits on Spurs, but it's not the same because Spurs have never done anything, so it doesn't really hit the same because it's just like, I feel like it gets kind of old at a point,
mm,
except for, when they're in a relegation scrap because that just is a new low. But when it comes to Arsenal, I thought about it the other day. I feel like it's a pretty good analogy. It's like the one guy in your group that is like always getting flamed by everybody. You know, like you got that one friend who's always just catching strays and catching heat for like no reason, and then he just like snaps one day and just flames. He flames, somebody like one guy, and then the whole group just like goes crazy because he's the guy that it's like you just got flamed by the guy who always gets flamed.
mm.
You know what I mean? And then he just starts letting off on everybody kind of thing. That's what it feels like. Feels
Hmm.
like we've been getting beat up on for years, and United has too, and more recently Chelsea and Spurs and
I mean, up
but
until a few years ago, we've been the pretty most consistently fucking hated team in the world until Arsenal were getting success.
well, yeah, but I'm saying we went through a period of it, and we had like the 5-1 losses in Champions League to Bayern and
The thing
whatever,
is, I
and
don't think it goes away. I think especially if you win the league, especially if you don't win the league, you're in a lose-lose where everybody's just going to be targeting you
yeah,
pretty much
absolutely, yeah,
indefinitely.
yeah. But if we
And they
do,
should be just absolutely trying to pulverize City every single year.
that's what I don't understand. It's like, how could you not? There's this guy's won how many, six, seven
Liverpool
titles
fans
this.
have switched up the most about that too, which is
He
annoying.
doesn't, how, that makes no sense. What is any possible reason you could have? We're not rivals, like head to
They're
head
not, yeah, you're
rivals.
not direct rivals. It doesn't make sense that they would want
Like,
City to
how many times have they robbed you of a title? Like,
through bullshit, through asterisk winning
yeah,
circumstances.
like it's baffling to me, especially because if it were when it was, like even last year, it sucked coming second to, Liverpool, obviously. But I'd rather them win it than City every day of the
Hmm.
week because we have been robbed and we've thrown it away
Right.
and we've had all this pain. They came and slapped us up like 3-4-1 in a title race towards the end of the season. Like all this pain, the Holland stuff with Gabriel and throwing the ball
Hmm.
in the back of his head and saying who the fuck are you to Gabriel Jesus and telling Arteta to be humble. Like, bro, I hate these guys. Like I feel like if anything, we formed a rivalry with City over the last few years.
Yeah, I
More
agree.
so than Liverpool, and we won the league at Liverpool's place in '89.
I mean, I think Liverpool just have upset this season. I mean, I'm not defending them. I'm like, I hate Liverpool. They have a new bald manager.
It just doesn't make any
I'm
sense.
explaining this terribly. Basically, none of their signings have worked out. United has done the double over them. They couldn't be any more depressed.
Yeah, it's
They've
just
spent an absurd amount of money. They're gonna have to. They're gonna. I think they're gonna have to like sell to buy this summer in order to make shit happen. Because their owners aren't historically big spenders, and the one time they do it, it doesn't work.
yeah, yeah. I've been clowning my brother on it because it's it's true.
I
It's
asked your little
true.
brother, "Who's your favorite Liverpool player?" at the beginning of the year. He said Florian Wirtz. He hasn't played in the shirt yet. You have no idea. Just
Yeah,
a media
yeah.
phenomenon.
He's been learning a lot of hard lessons this
Hard
season.
lessons this year for sure.
Yeah,
I
he's
remember
been
when he asked me who I supported, and he's like laughing at me, felt bad for me, a combination of feelings. Like, look where we are now.
yeah, it's funny. Yeah, especially with Chelsea being so bad too. It's
Yeah,
just
I mean that's what I didn't really expect because I didn't think they were ever gonna fire Enzo.
yeah. Um, but yeah, so I guess kind of rounding off the Arsenal stuff. Yeah, I mean, like you said, we win the next two games, we're
That's
champions.
it. I mean, in your next two fixtures are who? Like Burnley
Bur
and
Burnley at home and Crystal Palace away right before they play the Conference League final.
I mean, I could see maybe drawing Palace, but that's about it.
Well, Palace, I'd be shocked if they. I mean, Glasner pretty much came out and said, "Don't expect anything from us."
I mean, yeah, they're defeated, but they're still like a defensively sound team.
Well, but they have the Conference League final 3 days after that game. I would be
Well,
shocked if they played anywhere near their first team.
you're right. I mean, that's a fair argument. You think they're gonna be resting guys that day?
Absolutely. They're gonna be in a Europe. They just won their first trophy. Do you know their FA Cup last year was the first trophy in their history?
I love the song.
They are absolutely going to rest the first teamers, I think, before
10th
that
again,
game.
who gives a fuck? We won the FA Cup.
Yeah, but are you kidding me? They have a chance at a Euro. I mean, it's the Conference League, but they have a chance at a European trophy. Chelsea were celebrating this trophy last year.
I
So,
mean,
like,
It's big for
They
Palace. It's like actually a slight to Chelsea to win that trophy.
That's what I don't understand, dude. Like they were telling us like Club World Cup is Mickey Mouse in my
Yeah.
eyes, but fair enough, you beat PSG. But to be saying at least we won the Conference League in a year where Arsenal didn't win a trophy, I'm like, please give me a break, man.
Is this not the first time in history that an English team has been in the final of every single European competition at the same time?
Well,
I saw something that said that.
I mean, it's the first time for all three, but I mean, how long has the Conference League been around? Like five
That's
years,
fair.
maybe.
But I think it's
Um,
locked in. Like I don't see Palace losing. I don't see Villa losing. It's on you. It's on you to
yeah,
make the English.
the English treble.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can get it maybe later on we can get into the a little bit about the final.
the
I
champs
know
game.
yeah, I mean obviously it's still a couple weeks away, but obviously some it's on everybody's mind. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, so it's two games left. I think it's I mean I said it was done after Everton, drew City at home. It was scarier than I would have liked it to be, but we got the job done and you know, we move on, but I think it's done. I mean, obviously, like I said, the I got my eye on the Bournemouth game um at home to City. I think that's a big one. They're on like a 15 game unbeaten run. They beat us a couple weeks ago at
Oh,
home.
they have the longest unbeaten run in the Prem right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think they can absolutely go get a result.
Losing one of their best winger to City, and you know what? It's really impressive what they've done because it's not a team that like keeps their players.
Yeah.
Almost in the same way Brentford haven't been immediately relegated after losing their whole front line.
Yeah, I mean
But
they lost Kirkez, they lost Semenyo, they lost Huijsen, they lost
mhm.
I thought they're well, Solanke a year ago,
And a lot of
they've
these
been
players are going to big teams, and I'm still an admirer of some of their players, I'll be honest with you.
every one of those players is at a Big Six club right now. Like,
Mhm.
you know, it's it's impressive what they've done for sure. And I mean, they got a chance at
Let me see.
Champions League.
I'm checking Bournemouth's roster right now. I want to see if they got some notable shout outs that are still there that are worth looking into.
Um, but yeah, that's going to be a big one, and
Okay,
they
here we
uh
go.
they got a real chance at getting a result, I think. And if they do, it's over.
Yeah.
I think
So
mathematically it's over if they do.
they have four prospects, I would say, in their team that are absolutely worth picking up.
Well,
Like
they got that,
Krupi has been
yeah,
linked with
Krupp,
City.
yeah,
Alex Scott is a 22-year-old midfielder who's English, so English teams are going to be looking at him, whether it's Chelsea, United,
yeah,
someone looking in to fill up that third or fourth position spot in their team. He's got a really high rating this season. Um, Adrian Truffet is their French left back, who's the best performing left back, better than Kirkez, who left to Liverpool. Their replacement
yeah.
for Kirkez is playing better. He's the perfect age to sign at 24. And he's in the 96th percentile for defensive contributions and take-ons. So in terms of balanced up and down, like he's the man. Like you think of like your Robbo style center back or right backs or left backs.
Hmm.
Like that's what he is. And
Yeah, they got quality for sure. And I
and they
mean,
play an intense, man-to-man football, like exciting soccer. And
yeah, yeah,
when
they pressed
people,
the hell out of us the
yeah,
other week.
when people ask me, I'm like, do you want Iraola as a manager? I'm yes and no.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
I think.
because
So go ahead, go ahead.
yes, because I want to play a better brand of football. No, because I know he's going to come in and ask Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw to be man-to-man pressers. And you saw in the Sunderland game that Brian Brobby maybe had four through balls in on us, and Harry just cannot deal with the pace. It's like stuff like that. But
Yeah, you know, I mean, do you want to get into the United stuff real quick? Because I had some thoughts on a couple
the
aspects of
game,
your.
I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about. Like if you wanted to dissect it, it's not that big of a deal. We're locked in third place. And I think it's more, I feel bad for Bruno because we rotated players and he's trying to break the assist record.
Yeah,
Uh,
I guess I just wanted to I had some thoughts on, the bigger implications for United going into next season and beyond.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, go for it. What were your thoughts?
well, first of all, I realize that I don't deny that Bruno's having a very good season, and I don't deny that he's one of the best players in the Premier League. Um, I do think the Player of the Year shouts are a little bit of a stretch, personally.
I
Uh,
don't just because if you take Bruno out of our squad, we are not even in Europe.
I get that, but I think there's a couple factors that I can't wrap my mind around. First of all, you guys have had one game a week,
I mean, yeah,
and
that's fair to say that he's been
I
healthy and rested every single time we played.
yeah,
But
I
that's
you
not
know
his fault. It's we're being judged on the Premier League Player of the Year. He's played
no,
every
I
Premier League game.
I get that, and that's fine, that's fair, but I mean, I just think some of the performances that I've watched Declan Rice put in when I know he's running on fumes, and he's still
I don't
bossing the
think you get bonus
midfield.
points for being dragged or low
Well,
on
it's
fuel.
not bonus points. It's just that I'm taking a little bit away from Bruno in a
Yeah,
sense,
but
I
that's what you
guess.
can't do because that's like what you're not being judged on essentially.
Well, I think you can though, because it's not only that he's played more minutes, but he's in a title-winning side. And he's playing every game, and like it's the same. You could say make the same argument for him. Like we are not the same team without you saw it against West Ham, for the
Mhm,
couple minutes he was playing right back. Like we're not the same team without him in the midfield. And
mhm.
yeah, he's not, he doesn't get the GA, he's not as creative, he's not as flashy as Bruno, but like he is absolutely as influential. Um and like I said, I don't want to I'm not trying to entirely, strip all credibility from Bruno because he has had a good season. But like, I just also think, and this isn't really related necessarily, but I also think it's a little bit hypocritical because I think I saw he has 16 assists, but I think half of them are set pieces.
And this is something they have never measured before until Bruno has been on the
Well,
assist
okay,
marker. When
okay,
it was
but
Saka with what
well,
12 or whatever assists he's had
no,
before, that's
no.
not something they've ever broken down.
Okay, fair enough. But the guy who holds the record, Thierry Henry, scored or assisted 20 times in open play.
Hmm.
So that's not, that was 20 years ago.
Hmm.
Either way, though, what I was getting at was that I feel like it's really hypocritical to credit Bruno for that, but when Arsenal does it, it's a travesty to the game. Don't want to watch it. You know, we're winning ugly. You're breaking the rules.
I
It's
mean,
like, come
I
on.
understand the argument of like, I mean, I don't understand the argument. I think corners are a huge part of the game. But also, when you see Bruno's assists that aren't corners, like some of them are fucking spectacular.
No, yeah, and that's
There's
not
like no one in the Prem who could have done that except for him type
that's
assist.
fair. Yeah, no, and that's fair. Like I don't like I said, I don't disagree that he's, you know, a a great player, but I just think like personally, I feel like a little bit of context. Like where's Holland in the player like,
You know what? That's if like unbiased, I think if you had to put one player up against Bruno, I would accept Holland winning it just because of his sheer stats. But
yeah, like I mean he's still gonna win the Golden Boot and they might not win the league, but
mm,
United's definitely not gonna win the league either. So like, if it wasn't gonna be an Arsenal
I think
player.
what keeps Holland out of the race is that his it's what he's done to contribute for his team. If he doesn't win the league, it's for naught almost.
Yeah,
Versus like I don't know
I
how to explain.
yeah, I don't know. I think he also has had like he's like really streaky, he'll score like 9 in 7, but then he'll go like 10 games without a goal.
That's the thing with strikers though, is you're really dependent on how your team plays because you're just the end piece. I
Well,
mean,
if
you
you're
look at Xerxes. Like Xerxes played against that Sunderland team, and everybody shat on him for having a really bad performance. But also, he was in a ghost shift. Like nobody was giving him the ball. It's not that he wasn't making runs; it's that we weren't performing, enough to give this guy a chance. The same thing with Hoyland. Like everybody was shitting on Hoyland his first year and his second year, but when was he really given a fair run of it? Because we were so terrible.
well, yeah, but I just I guess to reverse the argument back to Declan Rice, what you said about Holland there is, being dependent on, your teammates and whatever. You could say the same thing for Bruno. And like granted he had, he does have a great assist record this season, but like that's why I think Declan Rice should be in this conversation is because in a team that first of all, he has to do almost everything. He's playing in the eight, he's getting up and
Hmm.
down. Sometimes he's pressing higher than anybody. And then he also has to get back and
Hmm.
be, the base of everything in front of the back line, get back and cover wide when Calafiori gets high or
Right.
whatever. He also has to do that work in a team where we haven't necessarily, I mean, we scored this, second most goals in the league,
Hmm.
but 17 or 18 of those are corners and whatever, in a team where we haven't necessarily been able to consistently have, like you said, that, fluidity going forward and like chances everywhere all the time, he still impacts games.
Yeah.
That's where for me it's like, like what does Bruno do if he's
I
not.
mean, Bruno played as a CM the first half of the season against his will, essentially, but
Yeah, but I mean, is he as that's what I'm saying is like is he really contributing massively defensively? I mean, I don't know.
he
I'm
was.
assuming.
He still does, in my opinion, but he's
Okay.
hey, you know what? I mean, we've said our pieces. Like I think we would never agree on
Yeah,
who we
no, it's
want to be the thing, but this is what
yeah.
I think will happen. Not like my opinion aside, how I think the league will do it. I think if Bruno just ties for the record, I think they're going to give it to him. And if he
Probably.
doesn't, I don't think if he goes the next two games without an assist, I think it goes to Declan. If he doesn't break the record, he won't get it. But if he does, that's a huge media profitable thing they can Prem can market. We
Yeah.
have the best 10 in the world right now. Look at our player of the year type thing.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's really just
honestly,
dependent on that record.
yeah, I honestly, I mean, at the end of the day, I really couldn't give a shit
It's not a
who.
huge deal, but it's just cool.
Yeah, I mean, all I care about is the trophies, like for the
Yeah.
team, So I only bring it up though just for the sake of the
Yeah.
conversation
I
and
mean, I'm
like,
just grateful I made it to Champions League because that was our goal from the owners is like we want to make champs this year, and none
mhm.
of us thought that was possible.
Yeah, definitely not.
I mean,
Yeah,
they stated they wanted to win the league, and after next year was like when they were like, we're going to win the league this year, blah blah blah, and it looked like we were
yeah,
so far off, and now we're still so far off. But in two transfer windows, maybe we'll be close.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think next season's going to be interesting. Another thought I had was I don't did you watch Goldbridge's video today? He was talking about I don't know where he got his source. I think he said it was some German
On
journalist, but he said that Arsenal are in or monitoring Julian Alvarez, which we already kind of know, and
Mhm.
uh Barcola from
Yeah,
PSG, and which we also kind of know already. But
I
the
think Goldrich has a good relationship with AFTV though, so it's going to be Arsenal positive from
well,
from
yeah,
this
yeah.
from him especially, even if it's just optimism, because I'm sure he doesn't monitor the credibility. But I
Well,
do remember him saying this. He said if Arsenal go and get Barcola, Alvarez, and Tonali, you would be a scary team. And it's like I think it's possible, not maybe not Alvarez, but the other two are definitely possible. And
yeah, but well, I mean, the root of what he was getting at was if we go get two, maybe not those two guys, but two guys of that quality and put them in our attack, we are like, yeah, we're going to be scary for
yeah,
years to
of
come
course.
because the defense is locked. I
Mm.
mean, we have options now with, Calafiori and Hincapié. Like who else can say that they have those left back options? You
Hmm.
would kill for one of those guys,
Um,
I think.
I want Hincapié, but I don't want to play him at left back. I want him as a
Well,
center back.
but even so, like we have two left backs that most teams would take either at left back or at center back. We have
Yeah.
Ben White is the same thing on the other side. I'd argue
The the
Mosquera is the
pro
other thing on the other side.
the profiles of outside backs I want are more akin to like the Liverpool up and down the pitch. Like Robertson was like a perfect example of like a outside back that I like. But
Yeah, but I mean,
you
still in
know,
terms of the
Kyle Walker was that perfect example.
yeah.
And it's like it's hard to find those outside backs again because you're asking so much of them and they'll deteriorate. But
Yeah, that's kind of why I like the way that Arteta has gone, and it kind of started with Pep, I think, even maybe before, or maybe at the same time. But a couple years ago, they started going for just like four center backs in the back line.
hmm
You
do
know,
you
we
think that's part of maybe Saka's decline is that he doesn't have like an outside back who's bombing up to, I guess, I
not
don't know,
a,
support him creatively?
not not necessarily because in that year, 22, 23, 23, 24, when Saka was at his best,
Yeah.
um,
I kind
yeah,
of didn't
Ben.
buy it too because I feel like Saka thrives in that space almost where he can go left or right, and that indecision for a center or a outside back trying to mark him of not knowing which way he's going to go and him being effective no matter where he went was a
Yeah,
huge part of it.
well, but that 23 or 22, 23 season, well, and the next season, it was that trio of Saka, Odegaard, Ben White on the right that was just disgusting.
Hmm.
You know, so I don't think that's necessarily true. I think Ben White is, I don't want to say like a unicorn, but like at his best, he kind of is, like he's got a good solid build to where he could play center back, but he's actually really good on the ball too, and gives us something in the attacking third. So I think it works if you find, like Gvardiol's kind of the same thing. It's just he scores more goals
Hmm.
instead of like facilitating other players. Um,
Gavardio was super interesting. Like
yeah,
I
but
don't know what made Pep think play this guy on the left.
yeah, I mean, but it can work when you got a guy who's good enough on the ball. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know though. I mean. I can see where you're coming from, like wanting a different style, but the point being that like our defensive depth, I feel like is just so settled right now, so solid that like we
Hmm.
we must go and I'm not talking a Gyökeres, I'm talking you know an Alvarez, a Barcola, a
Hmm.
Due, whatever, whether or not these guys are realistic or not, just go and try because the other thing too is we're gonna have way more pull financially than teams like Barca. They're always in.
I think you winning the league just secures that your players aren't gonna leave. So you're ensuring your future by winning this trophy is how I kind of see it. Because I think if you get second again, there's guys that are going to start questioning everything almost. But
Yeah, yeah, I could see that.
because
I
that's
mean,
when Madrid looks at it and goes, "Hey, we need a rebuild, and you're a great player."
yeah, but I think even so, like, I think right now, I mean, I understand Real Madrid is Real Madrid, but I think right now, I think a lot of players are looking at them and going to think,
And
if you're
Arsenal's a better squad right now than Real Madrid.
well, I mean, think about it this way. You have a
How
chance, you're going
often can
to,
you say that too? It's
yeah,
wild.
it's wild,
Madrid's in the
but
mud.
it's
Sorry,
it's
Ali.
crazy. It's crazy because if you actually think about it, like who's more likely to go deep in the Champions League next year? We are. At the beginning of the season, you would have never said you thought Real Madrid were going to make it further than Arsenal in the Champions League. Like we've been a favorite since before a ball was kicked in the Champions League this year.
Hmm.
And then we went, and kind of swept up and cleaned out, pretty much
Hmm.
everybody. And yeah, I mean, I think you could make an argument that we could, if
I
we
heard you
win,
guys asked for like a special trophy for doing it undefeated.
there's nothing real about that.
I know,
Um,
but
some
I was like,
fans
you know how many
maybe.
other teams did it undefeated? I think there's like 11 of them,
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the new
including United.
format. Yeah. But I mean, it sounds kind of obvious, but if we even if we don't win the Champions League, I think that if we win the Premier League, especially,
That's good
I,
enough to just like keep everybody on track.
but I think it gives us pull over just about every team in the in Europe.
I think that's more circumstantial because like why I keep laughing at you is like when like oh I want Kvara, we're talking to Kvara. I'm like Kvara in my opinion it's just like I would never leave PSG to go to Arsenal.
Maybe you wouldn't, but who knows?
But I that's like I think that's how a majority of players might think too.
Yeah, but I mean, Kvaratskhelia is that's not one where I'm like, oh, we got to go and get him out of there. It's just a,
I mean that was
if
just an
he,
example, but I
but no,
mean
yeah,
and
but
then other circumstantial is like Alvarez left England from your newly found rival in Man City. He's not going to want to play for a direct rival of his old club. And also his family left for reasons that were not even extra like not even related to Arsenal. Like his family fucking hates it in England.
okay, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's a little bit flimsy because
It's
he's
not.
already,
It's
but
true. I feel like if you drop London and in Spain, like you would have much more pull.
maybe, but I just what I mean, first of all, he wasn't a regular starter at City, so I think there's every chance he might want to come to Arsenal and play. We saw that Jesus was the same situation.
He was a treble winner at City, and he played. You don't act like he didn't play a huge part in it. He was still coming off the bench and scoring crazy goals.
Yeah, but he could come to us and be the guy.
But he could
That's
also
all
just
I'm
go to
saying.
Barcelona and be the guy.
Um,
It's easier. Plus, you know how much like stat padding you can do. Marcus Rashford just scored against Real Madrid in the Clasico. This dude was jogging in games against teams in the fucking FA Cup.
well, they got launched out of two cups by Atletico Madrid, and the financial situation, they might not be able to do it.
I think they'll find it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that we have to go and get him, but I'm saying if there's a chance, go try.
Mhm.
And same thing with Kvaratskhelia. I mean, but if I don't care who it is, if it's a Due, if it's a Barcola, if it's a um not Elise, but somebody of that ilk, like go
I think
try.
Arsenal is an attractive club for players who are going to be superstars and not players who already are superstars.
That doesn't make sense to me though, because I mean, we're at least the second best team in Europe, and we're the
But
best team in
nobody
England.
sees it that way,
How?
even if it's true.
How is that possible? I
There's
mean,
like this stink that just kind of lingers over Arsenal that
I that's like I'm sorry, I don't even understand what that
I'm
means. Like,
joking, but
how is there? If anything, there's a stink hanging over United. Like, there's
no,
this.
there's
There's a stink over Liverpool, United, Chelsea, Tottenham, even City a little bit. Like, who knows what Pep's gonna do? Like, they're still in a rebuild situation. They're nowhere near what they were a couple of years ago, which is almost of no fault of their own. But it's like, I don't know. I just think we've been to two semifinals in a row. We're in the final now. What if we win it?
I mean that would be huge. That puts
Like,
you on the map.
yeah, and like that would be a big, a big change in I think how we were viewed,
But
but I still think that we are highly respected in Europe for sure. We beat this year alone, we beat Bayern, we beat Inter away, we beat Atletico twice. Last year we beat Real Madrid home and away. Like I don't understand this
mhm.
argument that like we don't have pull, we don't have respect in Europe. Maybe not historically, but under Arteta, absolutely. What other coach aside from Zidane in his first 3 years in the Champions League gets to a quarterfinal, then a semifinal, and then a final?
But he needs to win. That's the thing. It's like
Simeone's never won a Champions League, and he gets talked about like one of the greats,
art ish. That's like depend
at
on who you
least
ask.
at least of a generation. I mean, you know, I just think, I mean, even Jose, it's been a long time since he's won a Champions League, And I know he won one with Porto, he won one with Inter. Like I get it, but it's been a long time, and these Champions Leagues are not easy to come by. Jurgen
Yeah.
Klopp has
How
one.
do you feel about Jose going to Madrid? Do you think he's someone who can like galvanize them?
I think if anybody might be able to just like put his foot down and have a bigger ego than Mbappe, it might be him.
Hmm.
I don't necessarily see that working out well though, because I think in this day and age, the players have all the power, and that's where you just need the ownership to come in, and that's what I feel like it boils down to in so many cases with you, with Chelsea, with any club that's going through this kind of thing. Like I feel like it always boils down to the ownership because they have to be the ones essentially to
Hmm.
say we're go we're gonna rip this guy's contract up, or we're gonna, they have to be the one to make the difficult decision
Hmm.
that doesn't benefit. It's kind of a lose-lose, you know what I mean? Like it's tough because you're losing money and you're losing a player in some extreme cases, like us with Aubameyang
Hmm.
kind of thing, but like I fully agree with Ollie, and I'm not, nearly as tuned into that situation, but with like an Mbappe, it's like clearly this guy is just like a cancer.
It's problematic.
He's just like, yeah, he's just leeching the life out of this club. So, I mean, and Ali's been talking about it for a long time. Like, PSG are now in two straight Champions League finals. They won one without him, and whereas
Where do you think Mbappe goes if
I
they
would take him.
genuinely
I
feel
would
like
take him.
you
I would
would
take
take
him.
him? Oh my
Absolutely, I would
God.
take him. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? Yes. I would take him in a heartbeat. We bring in Thierry Henry, we bring in Vieira, we bring in who's the other French guy? Pires. We bring
Hmm.
these guys in, sit them down, especially Thierry, and we're like, you can be a legend here. You can win the Champions League here. But you need to get this thing, you need to get yourself together.
Hmm.
You can be the next Henri. You can take the 14 shirt, the 10 shirt, whatever shirt you want.
I
And
just feel like you're just building something so special, and to introduce like the cancer that we just saw destroy Madrid would absolutely ruin everything you're trying to build. Despite the quality and the literally, he's a this pretty much our modern day Messi and Ronaldo is what this guy is. But
yeah, but Ronaldo, I mean, it wasn't the same, but Ronaldo had that ego, you know.
we had Ronaldo when he was young. You know what I mean?
Not, but I'm talking about Real Madrid,
Oh yeah, but
Ronaldo.
that was
Like,
that was where you were allowed to have the ego. But Ronaldo's ego was about work ethic. Mbappe doesn't have that work ethic.
yeah, but I just think like, at a certain point, do you not think that this gets kind of old and that maybe he's forced? Because if you think about it this way, you completely burned every bridge with PSG. You
And not only that, you've demonstrated that he was what's holding them back.
exactly. Then you go and do the same thing at Real Madrid. You hold them back. You you destroy the locker room. You destroy the club. You destroy any ambition, and you make it all
I think
about
he goes to
you.
Bayern Munich. I think
I,
that's where he
I
would end up in just a nothing place where he could absolutely just win all the time.
I
Or
think
he
it's
goes
more
to
like
Saudi for infinite money, but
that's what I think is more likely. But I think at a certain point, he might be forced to realize like I just I gotta reel it in a little bit, because he hasn't always been this player. He hasn't always been this person that we've seen, we're seeing. He was at one point, this star child,
oh, I mean, he
um,
was the what? How he won France the World Cup at 18.
yeah, and what he was doing with Monaco in the Champions League and his early years at PSG, like I think there's still something there that we could go tap into and sort of, maybe revive. But the other thing too is, and maybe it doesn't necessarily need to be an Mbappe, but I would like to see Arteta handle a character somewhat along those lines,
He did.
some
He handled him bombing and he kicked his ass out of the club.
well, but that's what I'm saying is I would like to see him handle that in a different way, like actually take it on, like take on the challenge.
I
Because
remember watching
Aubameyang,
that Arsenal documentary. They were like the half of the whole episode was dedicated to how Abba was fucking shit up.
yeah, but I think even with him, like, but that's there's it's a difference there because we needed him out because there wasn't any foundation underneath him.
Mm,
He was all we had. And it was a tough decision because he was our best player and a captain, but we didn't have anything else. So it did no good to keep him, especially when he's then causing issues.
hmm
Now we have everything in place but that. We can put him on the left wing where he wants to play instead of forcing him into the nine because of Vinny. We can put him on the left. You just be, we have the best defense in the world. You go score us 30 goals. We will win the Champions League and we will win the Premier League.
hmm
Like, and you will have a absolute, you'll have a exceptional chance to win the Ballon d'Or. You will still keep up, your place in the France squad. Like I think everything is there set up for him to come in, be the
hmm
guy. I'm not
He would
saying it's
also bankrupt
realistic.
the club just bringing him in.
Well, we might be the richest club in the country this year, or at least the most profitable.
Fair.
So I'm just saying, I don't think it's. I mean, Ali would probably, he'd probably tell me
He would pay you to
absolutely.
take him.
Yeah, he would absolutely pay us to take him. And he'd probably tell me it was the stupidest thing we'd ever done.
I would tell you
But
it's the stupidest thing you've ever done.
I don't know. Obviously, I'm not, that's just me.
Mhm,
But I'm not saying that it should happen necessarily or that it will or that it's even possible. But I would entertain the idea if it came down to we're getting this guy out of our club, where are the takers?
mhm.
I would consider it at least. So, but yeah, yeah.
Do you want to move on to maybe some manager conversations pertaining to maybe comment on how De Zerbi's been handling Spurs? And what do you think De Zerbi's done at Tottenham to make them flip around?
I gotta be real with you. I have no idea.
I
Um,
fucking don't know either, dude. It's a
well,
mystery.
not even because like I don't understand. I just literally have not watched Spurs for a second in the last couple
Mhm.
weeks because,
Well,
I'm too wrapped in what
yeah.
Arsenal's got going on. But I mean, I think with the Zerbi, I think he probably demands more respect
Then
than
Tudor,
Tudor, than Frank, than whoever they've had, than Ange.
right?
I
I
think
just don't know
he
how he looks at that dressing room of, 12 players who know they're going to get a better move to a different club if this team gets relegated. Almost like it was better for their careers if they get relegated. And
I
he's
just
managed to make them buy in somehow. Like I know
well
Villa played their backups, but
yeah, but I mean I think that there's no guarantee that all those players like Solanke's played in the championship before and he hasn't. I mean he had one season where he might have solidified himself as a Premier League
mhm,
forward, and that was at Bournemouth. So, I think that it's not beyond the realm of possibility that not everybody leaves, especially because I'm pretty sure De Zerbi has a clause in his contract where if they go down,
he stays as
he
manager.
stays. Yeah.
Well, that was the only
So
way he would even come in was for I think they just blank checked him, honestly. They're probably paying him a ton of money for just that possibility of happening. But I think it's the right decision because I don't think De Zerbi's a bad manager. I just
no,
think
not at
the
all.
Spurs are a bad team.
I kind of hate him just because they beat us in a title race 2 years
But it's
ago.
like
But
I think somebody goes in for Matisse Tell. I would have said somebody goes in for Xavi Simmons. Kolo Muani goes back to his club. Joao Palhinha goes back to his club. Pedro Porro might get like a cheap move to City or something to be backup or starting over Matthias Nunes. Van de Ven would definitely get a move. Christian Romero is definitely going to Atletico Madrid this summer. Their left back Udogie would probably get a move back to Italy. Benson Kerr would definitely go somewhere. Like it's like they're Their core players would not stay there in the championship.
Maybe not. I mean, I but that's the thing though, is you gotta wonder if there's something along those lines in their contract potentially. Like similar with De Zerbi, because it's one thing being a like a West Ham or a Wolves or a
Mhm.
Burnley or a Leeds going down, right? Like you,
Relegation clause exist in their contracts. Like they'll be able to go cheaper.
yeah, maybe, but I'm just saying like as a club like Spurs, as big as Spurs, do you not think that like there
I think it's
might
more
be
likely to have a relegation clause if you're a bigger team.
well, but what I'm saying is like for a side that gets promoted, let's say, you're expecting them to go down. So you don't really blame the players and if they go down straight away.
Mhm.
But for a team like Spurs, if you go down, I mean, you have to look at the players. I mean, I know they've been destroyed by injuries and Thomas Frank really was not doing a good job, anyway.
Mhm.
But like do you not think that they the club might have some safeguards in place to protect themselves and say like, look, man, you guys kind of got us into this mess. So
No,
you're
I
gonna you're
don't think
gonna
they do. I don't
maybe
think they ever
not.
thought they would be in this mess again.
Well, maybe
I
not,
remember
but
Spurs fans saying that, oh, we're going to be in third place next year, and Man United are going to get getting relegated, and we're going to be fucking waving at you on the way down. And I'm how the turntables
yeah, I
fucking
don't
tied, I
know.
guess. I don't know. I don't have sympathy, but I don't think they're going to get relegated. But I'm fine with either.
It's still very possible. I mean, they're 2 points ahead, 2 games left, and they've I think they play head to head.
West Ham and
I
Spurs?
I think so. Let's look this up because I don't want to lie.
I don't think so. It's Everton and Chelsea for Spurs.
Oh, okay.
But I don't
Uh,
see Spurs beating Chelsea, so
to see
they
him
might
beating
beat
Everton.
Chelsea. Huh?
I mean,
Well, actually, Everton's a good side, so maybe not.
I think there's every chance. I mean, I don't. Let's see what
Who
West
does
Ham
West Ham
has.
play? Do Newcastle and Leeds. I don't see them beating either of those teams either.
You never know. I guess we'll see. But especially with them getting that draw today, they should be thanking us for beating West Ham. But
I mean, I was about to say if I was rooting for you to lose, it was just because A, I want to see it like come down to the very last day for the title, and B, I wanted to see Tottenham get relegated. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to me. I'd rather not see City win the league. And
yeah,
I don't care who gets relegated, Spurs or West Ham, because I get a bonus out of either of those possibilities.
yeah. We're used to it as Arsenal fans. We're used to everybody, they're just doing their thing and
You should change
hating
your bio
us.
to
And
hated, adored, never ignored.
I,
It's literally
I,
in our it's our fighting words.
I don't even know what that means, so I'm not gonna
It's
get
been
into
in
that. But
it's the United saying. It's in our
oh,
Instagram
okay.
bio.
Well, I mean that's pretty accurate. But
It's our club words
well, that also happens when you call yourself the biggest club in the world,
over
which may
the
or may
second
which
biggest club in the world.
yeah, which may or may not be factually true, but that's just what comes with the territory. Um,
Oh.
but I don't know. I think we could probably round it off there. I think we got through a good amount of stuff.
Mhm.
We got obviously, like I said, big games coming up this weekend with the FA Cup.
I think the only last bit of notable news we should probably hit on is Xabi Alonso to Chelsea. Is that even a possibility? Because I saw that Liverpool fans were actually freaking out that they're not firing their manager yet, and also Xavi's still available, and Chelsea are really considering him.
I would be shocked if he didn't. I think after what happened with Madrid,
Mm.
I would be shocked personally if he didn't look at Chelsea right now and just say maybe I'll just wait and see what happens with Liverpool. You
Mhm.
know, like I don't know. At this point, I kind of don't see Slot getting sacked if he hasn't been sacked already because
Yeah.
with the state that they're in right now, like I don't know. Are they in fifth right now? Excuse me.
Liverpool? Liverpool are fourth.
Okay. So
They're tied
if
with Villa, though, on points.
yeah, so if they make Europe, like I really think it's very unlikely he'll
Bournemouth
go.
is a shout for making Champions League.
Yeah, but so I don't know. If I was Xabi, I would stay as far away as possible as I could from Chelsea, and I would be kind of shocked if he went there.
I'll just be
Um,
very scared if Chelsea, finally learns their lesson and go in for maybe less profitable, but like more short-term players. Like if Chelsea bring in a Bruno Guimaraes to replace Enzo, like I would be A, upset and B, more worried to play them.
I don't think I think they still need an overhaul. Their defense is horrible. The attack is atrocious aside from
Yeah.
João Pedro. The midfield's not even very
Mhm.
consistent.
I only see them
And
getting a negative overhaul though, because I see like their best players wanting to leave.
well, yeah, but I just think that no one player is going to come in and fix anything there.
Yeah.
I think that no matter what they do, as long as they have that board in place making those decisions, it doesn't matter who they bring in because they're not going to overhaul and restart this project now that they're so deep into it. They're going to do exactly what they're doing, which is stay in the league, try to be in Europe. If you're not in Europe, sell some players like they're probably going to do, make some money and just keep going.
Mhm.
It's just a money machine. I mean, they're still a big brand. They still get a lot of viewership. They'll probably get a couple big young names for, selling tickets and selling jerseys, but they're never gonna they're never gonna challenge for anything serious. I mean, the Club World Cup, first of all, in my mind, is not that serious. Um, Personally, I don't put any weight on it. I don't think it has any relevance on where you stand as far as the best club in the world.
Honestly, it just has a negative effect of how you're going to place in the league.
I like it's just more games. It's not a good
It's more,
competition. I mean, it was
it's
good
just
if
not
you,
credible because they're not actually putting the best teams in it.
well, if you really wanted to do that, then you would need a super league.
Mhm.
It would be the Champions League format with
Yeah. I do think it
extended.
it was interesting watching some of the Brazilian teams play, and because I
Yeah,
know a lot of like there's a fair amount of those players that would showcase themselves well enough to get moves to like Prem clubs. I think it was like Botafogo had two guys immediately go to like Nottingham Forest,
yeah, it was like
and
Igor
and that's like Igor
Jesus.
Jesus and
Yeah.
I think like a center back. I don't remember his name,
Yeah, and
but
look, I don't want to be all snobby about, you know, South like South American teams can't be the best teams in the world or it's not as good as Europe.
mhm.
But in my mind, it's like you're measuring different things,
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
you
not gonna lie, I do enjoy watching like the Seattle Sounders get the shit kicked in by Barcelona or stuff like that. It's like a funny what if situation. I just feel like you said, I don't put stock into it. Like it's not reputable.
yeah, because for me it's just not like the Champions League now, I will say, as much as it is a little bit annoying with like there's more games now and it puts a strain on the players, I do think it better reflects who the best teams are because
Well, I
we've
think that
seen
the team who wins the Champions League is the best team in the world.
yeah, but I think even if you just keep the consideration within Europe, it's like if you look at the four teams in the semifinal, Atletico haven't had a great domestic um campaign, but they beat Barca. They knocked Barca out of one of the domestic cups. I think they beat Barca or Real Madrid like 5-2 in the league. Like and they had a pretty decent, league phase record. Obviously they made it through. Um, if you look at PSG, I mean, they're walking the French league, and they, again, I mean, they had to kind of scrape through to get through to the latter stages, but I mean, they proved against Bayern, they proved against two Prem teams that they're far beyond, Liverpool and Chelsea, and then they put five on Bayern at home, and then they go and beat them or draw, I guess, but they controlled them at home, in Germany. So, and then, same thing with Bayern. Like they had a ridiculous, they were unbeaten, 100%, almost 100% record until they played
Mhm.
us. It was the first loss of the season in like game week 4, 5, 6 in the Champions League. So, they went deep into the season unbeaten. Mo Most goals of any team anywhere, So, and then obviously Arsenal. So, but I just think, with those more games, you see the pedigree. Whereas in the Club World Cup, it's like, it feels, it's at the end of the season. Who's tired? Who's not? Who's been playing what kind of schedule? You know, like how many games are they playing in these leagues? And maybe it's just me not being educated, but I feel like you can't put stock in it. So yeah, I think I kind of lost where we were going before that whole tangent, but um I think if we were on Chelsea. But yeah, they've got major issues, and with the Xabi thing, I just don't see it really. But
Mhm.
yeah,
You think he wouldn't touch that club with like a 10-foot pole kind of scenario?
I don't think he would, especially after Real Madrid. Like I said, like I
Mhm.
I don't see it.
I still think he'll get the Liverpool job.
Maybe eventually. Yeah, I don't know about this season, but yeah, I could see. That's the other thing though. I could see Slot getting fired and then
Mhm.
bringing him in. I don't know. Maybe they don't believe that he can assemble a squad of his own,
Mhm.
instead of, inheriting a Klopp squad that's been meticulously crafted for years, um, at least with, the core of the team. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I think that'd be interesting to see. I would like to see Xabi Alonso in the Premier League. I feel like
I
I
think
feel
with
like
the exit
there's,
of Pep, we're gonna need some big names just coming in to
yeah, if he
keep things
goes,
exciting.
yeah, I think it would freshen up the league a bit. I mean,
Having
obviously,
Carrick, Xavi, and Arteta, just like ex-players of these clubs managing these teams, like I think that's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, it would be cool. So, yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see though. I am kind of excited for this season, not to be over, but like just to see what happens going into next season and going into the World Cup.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if unless you have any other thoughts, I think maybe we can
Mm.
probably wrap. Um,
Yeah, that's about it.
so yeah, I mean, we'll be back probably after the weekend. Get into the Premier League results coming up, the FA Cup coming up. Um, who knows? But there's a possibility that the title could be decided this weekend.
It could. I mean, if City drop
Mathematically,
points, yeah,
yeah. I mean, we play on Monday, so maybe we'll wait till after Monday or Monday night to do the
it'll be
next
the
one.
shortest guard of honor in history,
Yeah, depending on what happens. I mean, it'll probably, in all likelihood, it'll probably go to the last day. But
which would be just like crazy because the whole world will be tuned in.
yeah, but we'll just have to wait and see. But it's exciting times for us. It's a more or less exciting time for United. Um, that one guy's gonna have to go another year without a haircut though. So
Who
rip to
cares?
him. Rip
We're in
to
the
United.
Champions League.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll be back soon. Hopefully Ali can make it next time. We'll get the gang back together in full. And for now, that's it. So if you wouldn't mind, interacting with the video a little bit, help get the algorithm going. Like we said, we're gonna try to get these out a little bit more and try to build
I
what we
saw
got.
someone commented that Raheem Sterling was an Arsenal legend in our last video.
Yeah, someone. Um, Anybody watching, go ahead and why don't you go
Like that comment.
see who that might have been, mystery man.
Comment on that
So
comment.
yeah. But for now, that's it from us. So we'll see you guys next time, and give it a follow and a like and a subscribe if you want. Thanks.